Hey guys, Jonathan here, and today I'll be ranking and reviewing every single new minifigure that's come out for the August 2024 wave of Marvel sets. Now, I've reviewed all the sets already, so if you want to see those videos, you can check those out on the channel now, but in this video, we'll be taking a look specifically at all the minifigures, and rather than in order of the sets they came out in, I'll be ranking them from worst to best. So, I'll be doing that based off of the uniqueness of the figure, how long it's been since we've gotten a version of that figure, how detailed it is, and all that stuff. So keep that in mind and let me know if you agree with the ranking as we go along. With that being said, let's get into the rank and review starting now. So if we're going for uniqueness and value added, unfortunately the Chitauri is pretty much always going to come in last place. It's a decent figure in its own right, great printing on the back of the head and the back of the torso, plus the brick-built gun is really nice, but it's certainly the least unique character here, and it's designed for army building, and yeah, just not too much going on here that we haven't already seen, so he's going to come in last. In second to last, we've got the Fire Demons. Now, these are cool inclusions for the Thor Ragnarok Surtur battle set, just so that Thor has some other, bad guys to fight against for play value. But with that being said, if you just drop these in a random minifigure bin, let's say, and you took it to Bricks and Minifigs, and were looking around, you would never know outright that these are supposed to be Marvel minifigures. They're really cool in the context of the set that they come in, but overall, they're just a little generic and don't really add much to the Marvel pantheon of figures, so they're toward the bottom for me. Now, across the August 1st sets, if you were to get them all, you actually get 5 of these. So, that being said, they're really cool. They're the Hydra Trooper agents, and we've got the torsos that are new, as well as the helmets. We'll lift up this helmet so you can see what underneath looks like. And they're really nice figures. Of course, the one in the Age of Ultron battle has the, jetpack brick built on the back, and they all come with stud shooter guns and stuff like that, but because we get so many of them, and they are a little generic, they're third from the bottom. Okay, so now we're getting into some main characters here, and this is the 2012 Captain America. This debuted at the beginning of 2023 in the Avengers Quinjet, and of course has since come in the Advent Calendar, as well as Avengers Tower, and now the Leviathan set. It's a great figure, don't get me wrong, but considering we've gotten him in multiple sets, he's not really unique to this new wave, so it's not really a great addition. The only thing I could say is, had he had, dual molded legs or something, he'd probably be higher in the list, but since he doesn't add anything new to our Marvel collections, if you have some sets from last year, he's toward the bottom. Age of Ultron Black Widow is up next for the exact same reason. It's the same figure that came in the Captain America and Black Widow motorcycle set, but it is a really nice figure. I know a lot of people skipped out on that set just because it wasn't a great one, so getting her in the Age of Ultron slow-mo scene set here is really awesome. Of course, the hip printing, leg printing, and toe printing adds a lot of value to the figure as far as uniqueness goes, and of course she has that regular Jyn Erso Black Widow head we've been getting on this character for years, but overall it is a really nice figure if you didn't have it already. Age of Ultron Captain America is just above her on the ranking list for all the same reasons. If you got that Black Widow motorcycle set last year, you already have this, but I do like that they added a clip to the back of him there with the drape piece and then, of course, the clip to hold the shield in place as you see it here. Of course, the head is double-sided, as we know and love. Got that great Chris Evans likeness, and once again, he would be higher on the list if he had leg printing, but aside from the Comic-Con Steve Rogers from 2016, we've actually never gotten a Steve Rogers Captain America that's had leg printing. Well, if you don't count zombie Captain America. Okay, Rocket Raccoon is up next, and despite the fact that raccoons are my favorite animal, he unfortunately is in the bottom half of the list here because it's the exact same figure we got in Rocket Raccoon's Warbird at the beginning of the year. Is it a great figure? Absolutely. Is there awesome printing on the torso as well as the back? You betcha, but since we already got him, he's not unique to this wave, which is why he ranks here. Now, you might be surprised that this Black Widow ranks as high as she does, given that it's a repeat figure, but the reason is she's got the legs that were previously exclusive to Avengers Tower. I think this figure is awesome with the arm printing with the SHIELD logos on there, that you could absolutely add to just about any SHIELD agent custom that you want to make, or even like a Nick Fury or something like that. So the torso's always been great, but getting those legs that were exclusive to Avengers Tower in the $50 Leviathan set definitely adds a lot of nice value to this figure, which puts her just about at the middle of our list. So we got a 4+ set that comes with the Hulk, and it reuses the torso and legs from the previous Mech Hulk, and the head is very similar, but we technically get a new expression on it. That's why this is ranked slightly higher than the previous figures we just looked at, which are 100% repeats. It's not a bad figure, don't get me wrong, but it's just not that exciting, and considering we get some other Hulks in the wave that are a little better, those are going to rank higher for me. In that same 4 plus set with the Hulk, we got this Iron Man. He has the MCU color scheme, but the print of the armor is a lot more based off of the comics. Now, this one does rank slightly higher because although it is a repeat minifigure, he does come with a hairpiece that's pretty cool. And last year in 2023, we got this exact figure, but without the hairpiece, and it was in a $27 set. So getting him here for $15, in my opinion, makes him a slightly better deal and figure. Up next, we have Thor from the Age of Ultron slow-motion diorama set. Now, that being said, this is a great Thor figure, but it's not a good Age of Ultron Thor figure. This is more what his suit looked like in the first Thor movie as well as the first Avengers movie, and they just reused it for the Age of Ultron set out of laziness. Basically, how it works is LEGO can only have so many pieces in production at a time, plus each theme gets its own budget, so apparently there wasn't enough budget to make a new torso for Thor, which really annoys me, and it is what it is. The reason he's ranked slightly higher than Black Widow, though, is because this is the debut of the new red rubber cape, which you can see you can actually take off of the figure without removing the head, and you can even put it back on the figure without removing the head as well. I certainly think that this cape could appear on a LEGO Superman should we get one in the future, and it is a unique piece, but I still like the paper capes the best. Maybe it's just me becoming an old man, but hey, it's how I feel. Alright, here we've got Loki, and for basically all the same reasons as Thor. This figure debuted last year in the Avengers Quinjet, and of course also came in the Avengers Tower, but this one is the debut of that new rubber cape, but in green. Once again, you can actually just remove the cape pretty easily like that. Got some decent torso printing on the back of Loki here, and the cape pops on just like that. We also have the muzzle on the back of his head from the end of the Avengers movie, and he comes with a really nice gold horn piece here for his helmet, as well as a decent staff. It doesn't really look like his staff in the movie, but whatever. And we also get a Tesseract. So a lot of good value with this minifig, even though he technically is a repeat. Alright, now we're getting into the meat and potatoes of the new figures. I really like this new Hulk. Of course, as we know, the hair is removable and the head can be posed from side to side, and the head is actually removable too. So it's nice to see how far LEGO Marvel Big Figs have come over the years. The only reason that this Hulk isn't ranked higher is because he's not truly exclusive. We'll see in a little bit that there's another Hulk from this wave, and they both have the same open-mouth angry head. So the head can be gotten in another set, and the body comes from Avengers Tower. So technically, you could make this Hulk without getting the $50 Leviathan. So while it is a really nice figure, because it doesn't have any exclusive parts, it ranks slightly above the middle of our list here. Alright, Star-Lord comes in 9th place, and I love this minifigure. The way the blue on the torso just pops, as well as the detailed printing on the legs, really make this a standout figure, and I love it. In fact, the reason he doesn't rank higher is actually because of what's not here, crazy enough. I really think this Star-Lord needed to come with a headpiece that goes over for his helmet, and of course we didn't get that. We haven't had one in a LEGO set since 2017, and if we didn't get it in the nearly $200 Milano set with this wave, I'm afraid LEGO's probably never going to bring it back. You know, as the MCU moves onward and the Guardians movies get older and older, I really just can't see LEGO being able to justify creating that mold again. And like I said, if they didn't do it in the most expensive Guardians of the Galaxy set to date, which just came out, I really can't see them ever doing it again. So 9th place goes to Star-Lord. 8th place goes to Hawkeye from Age of Ultron. This is a phenomenal figure, and I love that they reused the hairpiece from the CMF series Hawkeye, as well as from the Avengers Tower, but the head is just a generic Star Wars head, like from a, trooper or whatever, and I'm really not a big fan of how generic it is. That being said, getting the new leg printing with toe and hip printing, as well as the torso, and some pretty good back printing. If we lift it up there, you can see that ends up getting covered by his quiver, but it does look really good, and it's a nice figure all around. I do believe in the movie, though, that he actually has some dark red accents on the arms, so I think I would have liked it better if it was more like the 2015 version that had dark red, but regardless, it's still a really cool figure and ranks pretty high, all things considered. In 7th place, we've got Ragnarok Thor, a really, really nice figure, to be sure, and he also has that same red cape we saw on the Age of Ultron, in air quotations, Thor that we looked at earlier in this video. The only new thing here is the torso, actually, which is a really, really nice print from the beginning of Thor Ragnarok. And if we lift the cape off of the figure, you can see it's got great detailing on the back of the figure as well. Now, look, I know that the only new thing here technically is a torso, so it is kind of crazy that it ranks as high as it does, but I really appreciate that LEGO went the extra effort to give us a figure from 7 years ago, remade with modern LEGO techniques. And of course, we also get those lightning eyes, which technically aren't accurate for the scene in the movie where he's wearing this outfit, but it works pretty well at the end of the day, and I like this figure a lot. I really hope LEGO continues to go back and revisit and update old suits for MCU heroes, and I want to praise this figure because we got exactly that with this. To that point, in 6th place, we have Age of Ultron Iron Man. Now, we do get him in 2 sets from this wave, the $100 Age of Ultron diorama set, as well as the $20 Iron Legion Army Builder set. It's a really cool figure, especially the torso and legs. I love the way that the red accents pop out on the center of the torso as well as the toes. And of course, the helmet lifts up to see Tony's head underneath. Now, with that being said, the Iron Man faceplate here, I think, is the best looking print we've gotten on one of these modern style helmets to date. I'm still on the record not really liking these modern style helmets, but of the ones we've gotten so far, I think that this one translates the best, and LEGO finally has figured out a good style for printing on these. So while I still don't like these helmets, I can acknowledge this is a good figure, and it's a good step forward for Iron Man's, so I'm excited to see what else we could get, and I really, really like the level of detail and effort they put into this figure. In 5th place, we have Why is Gamora. I love this figure so much. It's our first Guardians 1 Gamora we've gotten since 2014, so it's kind of crazy it took a decade to get a new updated version of this. And while I do love the original figure, the modernized detail on this really just makes it pop and makes it a standout figure. Of course, we can lift the hair up and see she's got an angry fighting face on the reverse side of her head with some great back printing detail that actually ends up getting covered up by the hairpiece, which has some purple accenting in it, and overall, I just really like this figure. She does use the same legs as Star-Lord and Drax, so it's nice that they were able to make those uniform across the board, but I really do like it, and I think LEGO knocked it out of the park. In 4th place, we have Baby Groot. Some people might not consider this a minifigure, but the box art does, and technically Bricklink would count it as well, so let's go ahead and count it here. This is our first Baby Groot since 2017 from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, and I love how they executed this. The face with the big pupils looks so good, and having the Groot color scheme match the latest Groots we've gotten from the Infinity Saga as well as Guardians Volume 3 adds in a layer of consistency that I really, really like and enjoy. As far as how the build goes, you just put him on 2 1x1 brown studs that go inside this flower pot, and then it goes together like that, but simplicity is key, and at the small scale, I really like how they pulled this one off. Going in the complete opposite direction, from small to big, we've got the Age of Ultron Hulk. Now, something that I really want to praise and appreciate about this figure is the fact that LEGO gave it leg printing. Look, had they given us the same Hulk body from Avengers Tower and from the Leviathan, I think a lot of us would have been like, well, he should have had the Age of Ultron leg printing, but we get it. The fact that LEGO used budget to go ahead and give us a printed pants Hulk from Age of Ultron just really, really, I think it's a great thing, and I want to praise LEGO when we get good things like this, so that's why he's ranked at number 3 on the list. Beyond that, everything's the same that we talked about. The removable hair, the turnable head, all of that's the same, but I really do like that we got the printed legs, and LEGO deserves credit where it's due. At number 2, we're going to send in the Iron Legion. It has been ages since we've got anything that even resembles an army builder from LEGO Marvel. In terms of good guys, of course, we always get, Chitauri and things like that. But I love having these, and I really can't wait to army build them. If we lift up the helmet, you can see it's just a regular dark blue head underneath, and the helmets themselves reuse the Iron Man helmet style that debuted in 2017. It looks really good. The torso and leg print is great. Hip printing, toe printing, printing on the back. I just like that these are infinitely repeatable, and I'm very, very happy with them, and I think they deserve the number 2 spot for uniqueness and collectability. And the number 1 spot goes to Drax. I love the torso detail on this, and it's absolutely my favorite Drax minifigure to date. I love that over all the years, basically the last decade that LEGO has been making Drax minifigures, they have never skipped out on giving him the arm printing for his tattoos, as well as printing on the back of the head and the torso. That being said, the dark red color scheme they went for on this Drax just looks the best, and I think that the way that the face print is designed with the eyes and the mouth, it really just mixes in with modern LEGO so well, and I'm so impressed with what we got here. I also have kind of floated the theory that I think LEGO might be done making Guardians sets based on the original team, just because as the MCU moves forward, we're not going to be getting any new Guardians content in that way, and they'll be focusing on the new team when we inevitably get Guardians 4, or whenever they might show up in the MCU, so we do have to consider all of that. And if this is the last time we ever get Drax or Gamora in their Guardians 1 suits for that matter, I think LEGO did a masterful job in celebrating the 10-year anniversary. Even if it's not technically an anniversary set, it just feels great and throws me back to the beginning of the Guardians saga. So with that being said, let's wrap up this video and call it a day. Alright guys, well no doubt about it, this is a really great wave of LEGO Marvel sets, so I'd love to hear what you guys think in the comments down below. Be sure to hit like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys on the next video.